Lesson 8. The 8th tutorial will give you an idea of how to create a player class and describe all of its methods. You'll learn to work with touches on the screen, as well as create a method for defining collisions with other objects that will allow you to create a barrier manager and a whole new barrier class. In this tutorial, we will also learn how to draw animation correctly. Remember, this video is part of the App Dev Empire for Android video course, the property of appdevempire.com. You can find more important articles on Android marketing and sales of your future game or app inside the members area. In the last lesson, we created the game background. Today, we are going to create a spaceship class. The game panel class is already opened, and now we add the spaceship variable and call it the spaceship. Then we create the spaceship class, go back to the game panel, and initialize the variable. Next, we will pass the following parameters into the spaceship class. We pass to the first parameters the bitmap, and it is downloaded from the resource folder. Then we set x-coordinates for the following parameters, and the width of the screen for the last parameters. Now we add the constructor and start creating the spaceship class. Here, we created the needed variables, such as the bitmap, x and y coordinates, speed, increment, and the width of the screen. Also, a bitmap array is created that will be used for the spaceship explosion when it will be colliding with the barriers, and Boolean variable depth. Next, in the constructor, we initialized all our variables, except the array. We will create a separate method for the array and call it setBoomAnimation, where we pass to the parameters the bitmap array. Next, we initialize the array, which is in the class, and we choose to create a new array from the existing animation array. Then we add secondary variables that will be used during the drawing of the explosion animation. The animation time variable is responsible for the playing time of the animation, and total animation time is all playing times of animations. Num frames is the number of frames in the animation. It will also be set in setBoom animation, and it will be equal to the size of our array. Next, we'll create the draw method. This is the drawing method where the canvas is used by the parameter. Now, if our spaceship is not crashed yet, we will draw our spaceship on the center and not with the top, left, and right coordinates. For this, we deduct the width from x that is divided by 2, and we do the same thing with the y coordinates. As a result, our spaceship will be drawn from the center. But if our spaceship is hit, then we calculate the index of the animation frame that will be shown by us. The current animation time is divided by the total time and is multiplied by the number of frames. If our index is less than the number of frames value, then we draw the animation frame under the index as index. Then we choose Canvas, Draw Bitmap, and now we use our drawable download from the array. And the coordinates are calculated in the same way, and the other parameters remain the same. We are done with the draw method, and now we can move on to the update method. Here, we'll be updating our coordinates and animation time values. If our spaceship crashed, then we add the animation time variable to the DT variable. Here, we describe our spaceship motion and spaceship update in its regular state. To do this, we need to add a vertical speed variable and height of the screen. We initialize it in the constructor, and also we will need the screen height variable. We add it to the constructor, and then we add a new parameter to the game panel. Now we're done with that. So we move on to the spaceship class and write the updated coordinates. Then we add the screen height that is divided by 2 and is multiplied by dt to the vertical speed. Namely, the gravity force has a constant effect in the spaceship and moves it a certain distance. But if the engine of the spaceship is running and it is moving up, then retroactive force has an effect on it. Now we add our speed to y that is multiplied by delta t. So that our spaceship would not fly endlessly down, we add a conditional test. If it flew away down at the height of the bitmap, then it again appears at the top. Now there are written updates and drawings, and in the game panel we can place it in the draw and update methods. So the spaceship will be drawn and updated. Next, we add conditions to the onTouchEvent method. If our event gets action down, then it means that our spaceship should engage its engine. Up variable is equal to true, but if we lifted a finger, then it means that it may fall down. Next, we need to make some changes to the onTouchEvent method. We must always return the true value that touching already happened. Then, when we change the vertical speed value in the spaceship class, we only multiply it by 2, but we do not divide it like we did before. Let's do some testing for the spaceship motion on the device. Now we click on Start Game, and we see that the spaceship is moving. Then we click on Menu, Pause, and Main Menu. Then we try again to play, but the game does not work. Now we open the game activity to find out what the problem is. Well, it happens because we do not stop our thread. Now, after returning from the game to the main menu, the game will start again. You can start the game again. Next, we again return to the spaceship class and describe a couple of methods. This is a collision finding method. This method is taken from geometry, and it's quite simple. And we look if a point lies at the rectangle area. If it does, then we collided with something. And if it does not, we did not collide. Then we create a method that returns a Boolean type variable. And in the parameters, we pass to it 4 points. These 4 points are corners of the rectangle. We'll count clockwise, and they are the upper left point, upper right, and lower left. Now we create variables and locate them in the exact same points of our rectangle that are the upper left, upper right, bottom left, and bottom right. In order to get them, we describe a separate method. It will be called getPoint. We will get them in this way. We have our center coordinates, width and height of our bitmap. It is not difficult to get these points. For example, in order to get the upper left point, we find the x-coordinate minus the width of the bitmap, then y-coordinate minus the height of our bitmap. The other points could be obtained analogically. For convenience, we place the points with the estimated object in the array to process them later in a loop. Here, we've added the points to the array, and now let's find the interception. We create a loop that goes through the entire array. Then, we cleared the array and added the points. Next, we check again for the collision. So, we've described all the class methods and wrote our very own spaceship class. In the next lesson, we will create a manager that will create barriers and a barrier class. Make sure you tune in.